It's another edition of Time About the Movies. We're looking at the weekend of January 25th, 1991. And just like I said last week, because there are no new releases this week, we've cut in half the new releases from last week. So we already looked at 3 of the new releases from the previous week. And this week we're looking at the other 3 new releases from the previous week. So we start off with Once Around.
I must be the luckiest guy alive.
Fly me to the moon and let me play.
I've got one daughter safely married off.
Marry an affair.
I'm not listening to this with a mutual friend.
I've got a beautiful wife.
What is this? You told me you're a big hockey star in high school.
Field hockey. And another daughter still looking.
I want you to say you are the woman who will change my
I
life.
think my life's pretty good.
You okay?
Can I sleep with you and Daddy?
Sure. Why don't you get your pillow, honey?
Then one day, Renata met Sam.
Let me shake the hand of the first man that my little rosebud ever loved.
I was afraid to excite you any more than I did already.
Fuddy-duddy sex goddess.
Sam, who's the guy?
Who is this incredibly well-dressed guy?
My new boyfriend. No, come on, who's he really?
I, of course, was born in the 40s. That's why I have such intense passions.
God, what do you think? I think you should take it slow.
That's it. Imagine that guy on a day-to-day basis.
You're gonna get plenty of chances to get to know me.
Does anyone care that Renata's spending day and night with some bozo?
Dad!
We don't know a thing about this guy.
I hope you both have a lifetime of great sex and joy.
He's living with us for some weird reason.
I'm sick of it. Sick.
Now, you have had free reign over us, but I'm telling you, as of this moment, it's over.
You're tearing us all apart.
Renata, no one can tear your family apart.
That man, I love that he's different. This is my adventure, Dad. If you don't get it, well, I'm sorry.
Universal Pictures
First aid!
and Cinecom Entertainment present Richard Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter, Danny Aiello, Laura San Giacomo, and Jenna Rollins in a new film from Lasse Hallström, director of My Life as a Dog.
I had the greatest time of my life.
Come on,
Once Around.
Or as Box Office Mojo for some reason decided to call it Rich and Died, which I guess was the working title for this, but Box Office Mojo screwed up again. Like, I'm telling you, ever since they had that rebranding a few years ago, they've gone down the toilet so badly. I mean, how do you screw that up? I mean, this movie wasn't even promoted as that title that they have on there, but no, this is Once Around. This is Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter in their first movie together since Always, and it's a movie that I really do like. It's a movie that really also shows how good of a year for comedy it was in 1991. There were a lot of good, underrated comedies that came out in 91. There were some great comedies that came out in 91. It was overall a really good year for comedic movies in general, and this movie is a perfect exception of one of the more underrated ones, I should say. Because this is a very underrated movie. This is a great movie that not a lot of people really talk about. It barely got a DVD release. It only got a small DVD release, and actually the only way I found this movie was actually when the Oops outlet was at the Prime Outlets that I went to a couple years ago. And I'm glad I found it because it was a really good movie. There's really a lot about this movie that I think a lot of people missed out on. There's great performances all around. You have Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter with some really good chemistry together. I mean, it's a movie about where Holly Hunter is a younger woman who falls in love with this older guy played by Richard Dreyfuss, and they end up getting married, and the family is very confused about who this guy really is, and it's one of those kooky comedies like that, rom-coms that it's very much like that. And like I said, Dreyfuss and Hunter work very well off each other. You saw that a little bit in Always, but this movie, I think it definitely works a lot better. You also have Danny Aiello and Jenna Rollins playing Hunter's parents, and they're pretty good as well. You also have Laura San Giacomo from Just Shoot Me and Sex, Lies, and Videotape as the sister. And like I said, it's a really funny movie. It's a movie that I don't think a lot of people really know about. but I think people really do need to go and check out because it definitely is a really good movie. It's a very underrated film. I'm sure you can find it online on YouTube or Amazon to watch on there for free. I don't know if it's available on any streaming services as of right now, but definitely seek this one out if you can. Once Around, this is Lasse Hallström's first movie as an American film, I should say. We talked about last month, he also was going to be the director for Mermaids, but he passed on that to do this movie. And honestly, I think that was the right call. I think this movie really shows what he can do as a director, because he would later follow this up with What's Eating Gilbert Grape a couple years later, along with a couple of other movies as well. But this is a great early start for him as he branches into like more American feature films after he did My Life as a Dog. Like I said, Once Around's a really good movie. Definitely seek it out if you can. You're really missing out on a very good underrated gem. And don't care what Box Office Mojo says. It's not called Rich or Die, which is a terrible title to begin with. But it's called Once Around. So that's Once Around. Let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen in Cadence.
Lamb. Prisoners, close ranks. Private Bean is out of step with the Army.
Do you have a problem, soldier?
I'm through soldiering. But when he lands in the stockade...
You think maybe he'll change his mind when he meets his new roommates?
I believe he'll change his mind, Sergeant.
he will march to a different drum.
Watch yourself in there, man.
Yeah, come on down, Bean. I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the gentlemen.
Keep it right there, Jerry. That's the sound of the man working on the chain. Gang. That's the sound of the man working on the chain. Gang. Can you hear me say?
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
Slow down, this could be a picnic, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. We all choose sides eventually.
Oh, man. Did I tell you all about this dream I had the other
I bet
night?
you're gonna tell us about
Oh,
it.
bro, this was a woozy. I dreamt I woke up and I was white.
Get out of here.
Ain't no dream, man. That's a nightmare. That's my main man.
We are all in here together. You dig it?
I dig it.
I knew that you could.
On ice good as your color, but I hate everything you stand for.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute. So you've chosen a team after all, huh?
What's the problem?
You chose the wrong one.
I'm leaving.
That's the sound of the man working on the chain.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, probably another reason why most actors shouldn't really do directing unless you really know what you're doing. Like, we can't all be Ron Howard, we can't all be Jordan Peele. Martin Sheen is definitely neither one of those guys. I mean, this is a weird movie. I don't know if it's supposed to be a comedy or a drama or both or what the heck is going on here, but I mean, it's a weird movie. It's a weird movie that really doesn't work as well as I think they wanted it to. Charlie Sheen is giving it his best here. Lawrence Fishburne's also giving it his best here, but there's really nothing here that makes a whole lot of sense. Like, Martin Sheen plays this strict drill sergeant, and it's like, what was his plan here to begin with? It's just like, what was his plan to begin with? What was he trying to do to Charlie Sheen's character? And I mean, I don't know. Judging by this trailer, I mean, it really doesn't seem like they knew what they were doing, and even the people who were editing this trailer together probably didn't know what the hell they were doing. So they just put that together, tried to sell it as like a comedy, drama-esque type of thing, but yeah, I never even heard of this movie until I looked it up, so that should probably tell you everything you need to know about this movie. So that's Cadence for you. So let's go ahead and move on to the last movie, and that is Men of Respect.
Mike Battaglia is a soldier of the streets. Brutal. Respected.
You find Mike Battaglia before they lay a hit on him, and when you find him, you treat him as a man of respect.
In his world, power is the final reward.
Tell me you don't want it.
I don't know what you're asking. Mikey?
Don't look for a hand, Charlie! I don't do it!
I did it.
Between a man and his woman.
What is it with me? I can't stop shaking.
It's done.
Look at that. They got him crowned already.
Between a man and his army
There's a war going on here.
I tell you, it's mine.
lies a war of deceit.
No. I'm going to make them regret the day they were born.
You look right out, Mikey.
John Turturro, Catherine Borowitz, Dennis Farina, Peter Boyle, and also starring Rod Steiger. Men of Respect, a William Wiley film rated R. Starts Friday at select theaters.
So the movie is basically MacBeth mixed with Goodfellas and The Godfather, and that's not a bad idea, honestly, but I don't know, the execution here just didn't work for me. I mean, I saw this movie a couple months ago, and like I said, I think it has a good idea to it, but just the execution overall just doesn't really work out well. You have a lot of great talented actors in here. John Turturro, Dennis Farina, Peter Boyle, Stanley Tucci, Stephen Wright, Rod Steiger. Just great characters, just great actors all around, but the idea that they're doing a version of MacBeth like this, it just doesn't work. Like, it's a movie that has a lot of good intentions to it, has a lot of things that could maybe work about it, but they didn't get a good director for this. Like, I think if you got somebody like Martin Scorsese to direct this movie, you definitely would have had something different. Like, you get somebody who could make this type of a story work. Francis Ford Coppola, or I can't remember the name now. Sergio Leone, who did Once Upon a Time in America. I mean, I think those guys could have made this a whole lot better, but as it stands, it's a very underwhelming movie. It's a movie that I wanted to like a lot more because I like the idea of mixing a mob movie with MacBeth from William Shakespeare, and it just didn't work for me. So that's Men of Respect. And on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time around, we jump into February with 5 movies, new movies, including the horror film Popcorn. We also have Run. We also have Book of Love, Meet the Applegates, and also Queen's Logic. So those 5 movies we'll definitely look at next time around. But anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, check out the episodes on the next page, check out the playlist for 1991, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another new episode. So thank you for watching, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and until then, take care.